50 Cent and Stars just announced that a new Power spinoff is in development, focusing on a young Ghost and Tommy. But this announcement begs two huge questions. Will Omari Hardwick come back to voice over as a future Ghost the same way that 50 Cent does it for future Kanan? And with Star's recent cutbacks and layoffs, is there a possibility that one of our Power shows might be headed into their final season to make room for Origins? And I think the show in question just might be. What's up everybody, Just Be here, and I'm breaking down this announcement article from 50 Cent, Stars, and Deadline about the announcement of Power Origins, the new show that is focused on a young Ghost and Tommy. You guys know we've been begging for this show for years as the fans, and it looks like we finally went ahead and got it. Now, I broke a bunch of traffic violations heading home to be able to record this video and almost got into an accident. So y'all hit that like button for your boy, and let's get into the video right now. So earlier today, 50 Cent on his Instagram page, he dropped a couple of posts showing Omari and also Joseph Shakur, who plays Tommy, and basically announcing the fourth spinoff. They're saying it's the fourth spinoff, but the real true fans know that it's actually the fifth because of Power Book 5 Influence, which was going to be focused on Rashad Tate, was canceled, and we'll talk about that in a second as to why that was canceled. But 50 Cent says, man, listen, you know the vibes, it's gonna be fire. Green light gang, I got the cheat code, play with me. We're supposed to be working together anyway. And he tags a couple of his brands in there, and he shows all the screenshots of the different media houses that are now reporting the story, and it's all just pictures of Omari and Joseph. In his next post, he goes on to say, you asked, I answered. Young Ghost and Tommy coming your way. Power Origins is now in development, bro. And then you see me there commenting right now at LFG. So listen to me, man. Power Origins, I am all for it. You guys know we've been talking about this for a while as the fans. Now let's go into the deeper announcement and get a little bit more information. Deadline reporting that the Power franchise expanding yet again with Ghost and Tommy prequel series in development at Stars. And that's important to mention because 50 Cent actually wasn't working with Stars anymore. He just had legacy contracts with them, with contracts and licensing agreements that he had with them before he actually left working with the network. And he's now developing a bunch of other stuff elsewhere. He had a whole beef and he split and made a whole announcement about it. So this is actually surprising. But going into the article, we go on to see Stars is expanding the Power universe yet again with a prequel spin-off series that will reunite Ghost and Tommy in the vein of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, which follows the youthful years of everyone's favorite foe, Kanan Stark, played by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. The new series Origin will follow the early years of the beloved duo of Ghost and Tommy's, played by Omari Hardwick, the GOAT, and Joseph Shakur in the OG series. Fans of Raising Kanan have been asking for seasons when Ghost and Tommy would run into Kanan since the teens met in high school, yet those characters had never been cast. But as Tommy reappeared after Power in Power Book 2 Ghost before spinning off into his series in Power Book 4 Force, it would make sense if Ghost and Tommy appeared in Raising Kanan before Origins. Now remember, earlier this season in Raising Kanan that we just wrapped up season 3, if you check out the episode and you check out actually one of my breakdown videos for it as well, there was a scene when Raquel was passing an old strip that she went to go ahead and buy out, and one of the spray painted billboards had Tommy on it, which was an Easter egg to young Tommy. And so that's something that we were paying attention to at that time. And to add one more piece of pure speculation, so this is now the writer's speculation on this, who put the article together. The stories in both Raising Kanan and Origins could end with the start of the Mothership series. Well, that remains to be seen. As we approach the 10th anniversary of Power, it is incredible to witness the enormous connection our fans have with the Power universe. Catherine Busby, president of programming for Stars, said in a statement, "We can't wait to see how Origins will further evolve this dynamic franchise while bringing fresh, gripping, and expansive storytelling to our audience." Yesterday, Starz CEO Jeff Hirsch revealed plans to contain content costs by developing more new shows versus sustaining series longer as they become more expensive. Focus on this, guys. Speaking at Deutsche Bank's media conference ahead of the company's move to become a standalone company by year's end, Hirsch used the Power franchise as an example. He says, you look at the power map and say, okay, if I take one of those characters out and spin one of those out, I can bring that on to replace the power show at half the cost. Now I'm putting a lot of money right to the bottom line. And I'm really not losing anything in terms of acquisition costs and subscriber viewership because we know what those demographics want. And we know how to line those up. And that's really what the core of getting to that 20% margin, turning that slate over with fresh content to drive the business. So if you guys don't know this, I also did a video on this before, that Starz is now separating from its parent company Lionsgate. He's speaking more CEO talk in terms of how do we continue to make money as a network without having the big backing of our previous studio who provided most of our funding. And they're looking now to cut costs and make adjustments to be able to keep the network going. So this whole announcement is actually very shocking because I thought that they were going to cap off most of these power shows by at least a season 5 or 6. And now that we're expanding into this universe, it's crazy. The article talks more about how the Mothership original Power show ran for 6 seasons. Book 2 Ghost is coming back for season 4 later this year, and Raising Kanan is currently in production in New York on season 4. Power Book 4 Force is actually currently in production on its 3rd season in Chicago as well. With Origins in development, could it mean that the end is near for one or more of the above? I think that's very, very highly possible. I spoke about this in another video as well, that in the industry, when you are heading towards your 4th season, usually all the salaries for production and the cast go up. So if you're now in a position now where as a network, you no longer have your bigger investor parent company, and now you're going into these mandated new contracts to increase everyone's salary, eventually something has to change and give way. So it's very possible that one of the Power spin-offs, such as Book 2 Ghosts, such as Force or Raising Kanan, might find a natural end, not a cancellation, a natural end within the next 2 to 3 years. I believe the most likely candidate of that show being is Power Book 4 Force. They took too long to renew it for season 3, and there's only so much more story we have left to tell with Tommy, who we've been following for 10 years now in his story. So that is my choice. So that's my theory. I think Force would probably be the one most on the chopping block. If, I'm not saying it's going to happen, if, just based off of even the writer of this article speculating that as well. A couple weeks ago, there was also a couple articles that were dropped online about why Power Book 5, which was also going to be called Influence and revolved around Councilman Rashad Tate's story continuing after the original show, was canceled. And just to give you guys a quick bite of that, it was because Catherine Busby, who is still in charge of programming at Starz right now, canceled the show because she wanted the network to focus on more female-driven content. And that's why they would have canceled the Rashad Tate spinoff at that time. It's interesting now because you do that, but now you greenlight the Ghost and Tommy show. That's a male-led, male-driven show. So I struggle with the concept behind what kind of went into that. Maybe it's a business decision just because they know we can build this show right now at less cost and keep the same subscribers and viewers in there. And so that's why they decided to go for the most low-hanging fruit. Hold on real quickly. You guys want to see something crazy? Over 99% of you guys that watch my content are not subscribed. So I'm asking real quickly, if you don't mind, just hit the like button and hit subscribe real quickly. I'd love to keep on giving this content to you guys and lets me know that people actually are interested. Feel free to do that, man. Really appreciate it a lot. Would help me out a long way in growing my small channel. Thanks. Now back to the video. But the biggest question everybody wants to know is, yeah, that's cool and we're excited for it, But is Omari gonna be in it, man? You guys know how 50 Cent does the voiceover for Future Kanan and Raising Kanan. But we also want to know, bro, so is O coming back to also do a voiceover for Future Ghost in this show? As I'm sure they're going to invite Joseph Shakur to actually come on as well and do the voiceover for young Tommy in this. About a week ago, Omari actually reposted this same photo on his Instagram story that was made up by some fan art, just really giving appreciation for what we're calling obviously the greatest character in TV. And so, so he showed his love, saying, God bless all you ghostwriters, appreciate you forever. And like I said, he reposted on his Instagram story. Lo and behold, a week later, we get an announcement of a ghost show. So then I had to ask the question, guys, is it possible he might do the voiceover for Future Ghost? I would love to have him back in some way. You guys know I ride hard for getting back to that original story and finishing that off in some way, form, or fashion. But I'm excited for all the possibilities that this show has and what we can tap into within this new universe of Power. I'm curious about, are we going to see a colliding eventually between Raising Kanan and also with Origins? Are we going to be introduced to young Ghost and Tommy in season 4? And that's going to lead to the spinoff of Origins. What do you guys think about it? Let me know inside the comments, because I'm very, very curious about how this is going to go down. The biggest thing is now, if we're separating these shows, I mean, how do we deal with the Breeze side of things? I mean, let's ask that question. If we're having 2 separate shows, is Raising Kanan gonna come to an end and he's gonna be on the Young Ghost and Tommy show? I don't know. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, man. I feel like this whole thing deserves its own live stream, and we got to go and talk about it, bro. I mean, that's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna have a live stream, and we're gonna come on as fans and just speculate and talk about it and go deeper into this. So let me know all your theories and all your thoughts about how you think this is going to go down within the comment section. Look out for the announcement of the live stream where we're going to go ahead and talk about this. And if you want to know why Omari Hardwick actually left Power in the first place, watch this video up above.